What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, continuing my deep dive into Bruce Springsteen's live catalog. I'm going to talk about this release right there, Hammersmith Odeon, London 75. Then I'm going to rank this among the other Bruce live releases I've already talked about. This is his fourth official release. 2006 is when it was released. It is a complete show from November 18th, 1975, about 3 or 4 months after the release of Born to Run, the first time he was overseas. I think he was touring, and then he did 4 shows overseas. Then he came back and played some more shows. This is 2 hours of absolute Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band perfection. I mean, this has to be one of the greatest live releases ever. Yes, I've only seen a minute percentage of all live shows played in the history of the world, obviously, but this is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. To have been at this show, to have been on this tour, to have seen Bruce in the mid-70s when he's doing stuff like this, or in the late 70s, or heck, I saw him in the 80s and 90s and 2000s and was still blown away. But this is just, like, this is special because he's not yet Bruce at this point. You know, Born to Run is kind of making him into Bruce Springsteen. The fact that he can go overseas and play these shows is making him Bruce Springsteen. Born to Run is like dropped early in the main set. Like it's just a song. A friend of mine, I think I've talked about this before, did through the U.S. Postal Service, did this thing where he found a bunch of us and then we recommended friends who were music lovers. And he did this thing to find the greatest rock and roll song of all time. And there were brackets and we voted and we narrowed it down. Born to Run made, I think, the Sweet 16. It might have made the Elite 8. That was my vote for the greatest rock and roll. As I define rock and roll, the greatest rock and roll song of all time. Here it's just kind of buried in the middle of the first set. It's maybe one of the most or one of the least oh yeah, Born to Run was played. When everything else in this show is just sound is amazing. The sequencing, the set list is amazing. Bruce knows how to put a set list together. The E Street Band sounds incredible. I would say the one musician who really jumps out at me after listening to this is Max on drums. Weinberg is just killing it. And the rhythm section just does not get the love they deserve. Talent on bass, amazing. The entire band is amazing. This is just like, if you've not heard this release, this is a must-hear release. This is a must-hear release if you're a Bruce fan. I would say this is a must-hear release if you're just a lover of music, because Bruce brings so many incredible things. He does a number of interesting things with formerly released tracks. It is just absolutely just an epic, epic performance. Opens up with Thunder Road. This is the same rendition version, not the actual performance, that is on Live 1975-85, where it's piano, voice, or piano, then harmonica, then just Bruce singing Thunder Road. You don't get that epic build that you get on the studio album, but you don't need it, because what Bruce is able to do with just his voice and some guy on piano, really talented guy on piano, and then just these lyrics, this story, this Thunder Road. What an absolutely amazing performance. To go see this guy for the first time and he comes out with this just I don't know, epic, compelling, just him on a microphone. There's a DVD of this that was released. I think, did I mention that? I don't remember. But the DVD, this is a dark performance. Like, the lights it's not a well-lit venue. It is a very intimate, dark, late at night. You feel like you're in a club late at night and the lights don't work very well, but it just adds to sort of the immediacy and Bruce's ability to connect just through the fact that it's all dark. So if you get a chance to see the DVD, it's a fantastic performance. But Thunder Road to open, amazing. Then we get a 10th Avenue Freeze Out. We just get the first 2 tracks off the new album. It sounds perfect. It's a great chance to sort of introduce the band, as we come in and we get the drums and then the dun, dun, dun. Then everybody comes in after this, solo piano performance. All right, we got the full E Street Band here. Little quote for Curtis Mayfield's It's All Right at the very, very end. Later on, the album I just did last week, he would expand that and actually add way more quotes in here. But here we just get a little snippet of It's All Right at the very end. Sounds amazing. The band sounds good. It's a great second song. This is one of those songs that as Bruce would tour, would move to later in the set and become more of this epic short showstopper set piece. Here, it's just like, yeah, it is a great way to kick off a show after the intimate Thunder Road opening. Feels like, all right, now the credits have rolled, the movie is starting, let's go. Then we get a Spirit in the Night. Really nice drawn out opening where everybody's kind of making noise and Clarence is soloing and Bruce does like the first three lines of Staggerly, just kind of as sort of setting the scene for what would come in the lyrics of Spirit in the Night. It works. Great third song, great sax solo by Clarence in this. Very dramatic performance. On the video, you can see, like, you can tell that he's getting dramatic and like bringing it way down. But on the video, I think he actually crawls across the stage and goes into like where the orchestra pit would be, and then he crawls back out. So he's really getting into it. Right when we get to the Hazy Daisy got hurt part, we get really, really low down. But it's cool. It even sounds good if you're not seeing the visuals. Then we get just the first of many just absolute epic songs and epic performances. We get a Lost in the Flood, just such an amazing song. Max on drums is killing it. And when the band finally like fully drops about 2.5 minutes in, it's just like, it just feels huge. It just feels amazing. It's just, the performances are incredible, but the songs, like already 3 albums in, the songs that he has to choose from to play are phenomenal. Then we get a She's the One, nice harmonica intro before the drums come in. And even the harmonica's like, got that beat going with it. It works. Nice big drop about 2 minutes in when this band finally comes in for this song. Then we get a Born to Run, which is just here. They just play Born to Run. It's like, yeah, let's just do this song right here in the middle. Like, it's almost like he doesn't know the power of this song. He just kind of drops it. Yeah, Born to Run. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs in. Yeah, let's just drop a Born to Run right here. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Then we get the E Street Shuffle, which completely different vibe than the studio version. It's almost like after making Jungle Land, he's like, wait a minute, I can like take some songs and slow them down and draw them out and maybe give them sort of a different sort of musical template on which these lyrics can like exist. And that's kind of what he does for the E Street Shuffle. We have this nice like upbeat piano organ vibe that opens it up. Some nice slide guitar comes in there. It's got a very cool like 70s vibe. There's something very 70s about this, but in like a cool way. He starts talking about how this is his first time in England, talking about bars, and he drops the first lyrics to the song. You're like, oh yeah, this is a completely different vibe than the studio version. We don't get that weird, quirky little keyboard action. But it really just seems like after doing Jungle Land, he's like, I can take songs and slow them down and make them a little more epic. And this just feels like way more of an epic like set piece than the studio version. And towards the end of it, he starts singing Sam Cooke's Having a Party. He sings a good bit of that. And then Clarence comes in for some nice saxophone to like close us out. And then like the very end of this, Clarence just hits this long, holds this long sax note for a while. And the band just kind of finishes it out. It's a really neat version of the E Street Shuffle. It provides a sort of an alternate timeline to where this song exists and has like a different form than that kind of quirky, jerky, sort of upbeat, frantic studio version. Really awesome, really good choice, good decision by Bruce to do this, I would argue. That's followed up by It's Hard to Be a Saint in the City. Awesome. The energy is great. Performance is great. They bring it down nice and soft before that build up in the end. Absolutely beautiful. We get a beautiful Backstreets that middle guitar solo when Bruce is like playing the down in the middle. He's just like really nasty and kind of aggressive. I think I brought this up before, but I used to listen to Dr. Demento as a kid. And there was somebody did a cover of the Flintstones theme song, and it was kind of in the spirit of Backstreets. I know it's on YouTube. When you're done with this video, or do it now, I don't care. Go, I think you search Bruce Springsteen, the Flintstones. It's like a 2-minute performance of it. It's absolutely just dead on perfect. But it's a good, fun listen. And every time I hear Backstreets, I always think of that. So we get Backstreets. And And then we get, after Backstreets, we get Kitty's Back, which is just another sort of, this is that song where he's like, okay, I'm going to give everybody a chance to solo. So that opening, like, guitar intro into Kitty's Back is great. The drop into the groove is great. We get it like half the song. Then we get an organ solo that's super tasty. We get a piano solo that's super tasty. And then we get we go into like this written part that like references Kitty's Back, and then we get a guitar solo that's messing around with the Kitty's Back melody almost the entire time, and it almost turns into like a Kitty's Back jam for a while. Saxophone's in there, the guitar is kind of leading it. It's just like a full band, like just attacking the Kitty's Back energy, and then eventually we go back into Kitty's Back. Really awesome. We get a Here She Comes jam at the end. They're really playing with this. They stretch it out to like 17 minutes, but it works. It absolutely works. Kitty's Back is a good song. The solos in the middle kind of work. They don't like drag down into just like drummer keeping the beat while somebody does something silly. The full band is engaged, and you can tell this band is locked in. The E Street Band, there's something. They got a future. And then after that, we get Jungleland, which is just, I think this sequencing, like dropping this in the set list, is like, listen, we did this indulgent E Street shuffle thing where I kind of messed around with it. We did this indulgent Kitty's Back thing, where I like give everybody a chance to solo. Now this is kind of indulgent. It's like 9 minutes, but it's like this tightly composed, like the saxophone solo has a purpose. That guitar solo has a purpose. Everything about this, the highs, the lows, the dynamics, like this is here for a reason, because we're delivering just an absolutely epic song. And the Jungleland is just amazing. And Clarence Clemens solo, like I'm not a fan of a lot of his like just blustery sort of 50s, early 60s rock type, just bluster that sax. The solo in Jungleland is just absolutely epic, absolutely beautiful. And if you watch the DVD of this, Springsteen has his back to the audience during the solo and his eyes are closed. And he's just like, he is just in the moment enjoying the heck out of this. And that's what you should do if you listen to it. It's absolutely amazing. And then after that, we get a Rosalita to close out the main set. We get the band intros in there. We get all the couple quotes of other songs. Super, super fun, high energy, such a fantastic song, such a great performance. And then for the encores, we open up with 4th of July, Asbury Park, Sandy, Sandy, Sandy. My John Travolta Sandy impersonation. We get the Detroit medley, which I always think I'm not going to like it. It's just like, this is not my favorite. Like that sort of Detroit rock and roll sound is not one of my favorite subgenres of rock, but the band sells this so well that you just got to have a good time. They do Devil with the Blue Dress, Blue Dress, Blue Dress, Devil with the Blue Dress on. They do Good Golly, Miss Molly, right? Like, those are like kid rock and roll songs, right? I mean, I'm not trying to like denigrate the music, but like I feel like those are rock and roll songs you get into early when you're young and you kind of outgrow them. So I've always been fascinated with Bruce's fascination with this, but when you hear these performances, you're like, yeah, this is some fun stuff. Like it must be fun to play. I mean, if you're there, you're gonna have a good time, especially if you're in England. I guess this makes way more sense in England. Like we're bringing a little bit of our homegrown American rock and roll overseas to share with you. So yeah, okay. A CC Rider and then a Jenny Take a Ride. The performance absolutely sells it. And then another just absolutely epic moment. Bruce does For You, which is super catchy, kind of poppy, should have been a hit, awesome song, by himself on piano. And he's playing the piano. It's stretched out to like this 8-minute epic performance. And yeah, you lose a little bit of the for you, that kind of boppy kind of, yeah, I want to almost dance to this, but it doesn't matter because the performance is just so spellbinding and the lyrics finally stand out and aren't sort of like, I don't know if they're lost in the poppiness of it, but you forget that there's these really incredible lyrics because the song itself is so catchy. But absolutely just mesmerizing performance. And to do this, like, you're almost bookending that opening Thunder Roads performance. You're bringing it all back down to just a voice and a piano at the end. But this time Bruce is on the piano. Amazing. And then after that, they close out with a cover of Gary U.S. Bond's Quarter to Three, which has a little like hooky melody that you would probably recognize if you hear this song. This is one of those songs that seems to have been inspired like half the tracks on the river. It's just that kind of rock, that early sort of rock and roll sound. But it's a fun closer. It's a good high energy song. Fake ending. Think it's over, but he comes back and brings it back one more time. But yeah, it's a perfect performance. Like I just, this is an absolutely perfect show. From the opening Thunder Road, I mean, the opening 1-2 punch of Thunder Road and 10th Avenue is just amazing. Spirit keeps it going. I mean, I just detailed it. You know what it is. It's absolutely fantastic. It is a must hear. Yeah. That being said, where would I rank it if I had to rank it among the other ones? And I don't have to, but I'm going to. I have it at number 2, which seems absolutely silly, especially because I absolutely love complete shows more than anything else. But that live 75-85 was probably one of the most pivotal, or I got it for a Christmas present, but probably one of the most pivotal like things I ever received as a teenager, music, to just like deep dive into somebody's catalog and know that live music could bring like this kind of like experience. And a lot of these songs are on that. The Thunder Road is on there. You get a later 10th Avenue, Spirit in the Night, an early one. Yeah, we don't get a Lost in the Flood, which sucks. We get a great It's Hard to Be a Saint, get a good Backstreets. I mean, so we get a lot of these things, get a great Rosalita. And I do like the integrity of it being a complete show, but I just can't deny the absolute power of that live 75-85. But these are both perfect. Number 1 and 2, just perfect releases. All right, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. Really, if you have not listened to this, you're missing out. You should listen to it. You should watch the DVD because it's a great performance by Bruce. Very, very young Bruce. Yeah, it's fantastic. Highly recommend. All right. Let me know your thoughts on this, things I messed up on, things I missed, things I don't know about, all that stuff. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and thanks for watching. Peace. Talk to you later.